Hello everybody, it's Amira. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. I am so happy you're here. If you're new here, my name is Amira. I am obsessed with all things Animal Crossing and cozy gaming and Nintendo Switch, and I love making videos that kind of just feel like you're hanging out with a friend. So if you're in the market for a new cozy gaming buddy, I would love to do that for you. Just go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the like button and the notifications bell and join our cozy community here on YouTube. We would absolutely love to have you. Today we are building on my island Moss, and again, if you're new here, this is my magical woodland, not necessarily fairy core island, but just like a magical forest island, I guess. I didn't want it to be super pink and sparkly fairy core. I just kind of wanted it to feel more like it's very plausible that magic happens on this island. So that's kind of the theme that I am going for. Today we are working on another neighborhood. So in the last video on this island, we built up a mush neighborhood, and I had this idea for like 3 different neighborhoods on this island. So like I said before, we did the mush neighborhood last video, and then in this video I wanted to build up a meadow neighborhood. So essentially this neighborhood ends up just being plopped in the middle of this like sprawling meadow. I feel like the build kind of stops short on either side of the houses. I'm not 100% sure on where I want things to be going yet or leading. I'm a very sort of type B Animal Crossing player. I don't necessarily come into any of my islands or my builds with specific plans. I just kind of come in with a vibe and a dream in my back pocket. So I'm definitely not someone who plans out my entire island super extensively and like all the terraforming first, and this area is going to lead into this area. I really just kind of start because that's the only way that I can kind of get myself going. So whenever I start these builds, I feel like it can look kind of empty and unfinished, but that's just because I'm leaving myself some room in case I want to build something else. And again, I have no idea where it's going after this. So like I said before, this is the Meadow neighborhood. None of these villagers that we have right now will be staying, so please excuse their ugly houses. Eventually, I would love to have fauna here. Maybe Bo. I'm not 100% sure yet. I have fauna and Bo, I think, as my 2 sort of for sure villagers, but if you have any suggestions for villagers that you think would go well with the sort of woodland critter, also magical forest, meadow core sort of thing, that's what this area is kind of giving. And I think it turns out super, super pretty. I knew immediately I wanted to do some sort of really skinny winding pathway. The pathwork is what takes me the most amount of time in this video. Oh my gosh, I spend so long making pathways and then remaking them and then putting them in different ways. I really, really struggle with creating pathways on my islands. I feel like I have a lot of really good strengths, and pathways is just, I don't know, they are something that I struggle with, but I am trying to sort of challenge myself to get out of my comfort zone and do different things with paths, because you'll never get better if you don't work on it. And so this whole like skinny winding pathway is something that I don't do very often, and I'm really proud of the way that it turned out. So yay for that. Push yourself outside of your comfort zone. That is something that I really appreciated Happy Home Paradise for, was the ability to sort of practice some skills that I was working on. I won't be doing that for a while now because I did give that Switch away to my little sister, unfortunately. But Happy Home Paradise was a wonderful place to sort of hone some skills. So if you have the DLC and you don't really use it, I would highly, highly, highly recommend just using it to practice some stuff. So yeah, anyways, like I said before, this will be Fauna and Bo in their little meadow. I used 3 different flowers. I used the red windflowers, the white tulips, and the green mums with some weeds interspersed here and there. I was hopeful that the weeds would grow all the way in. We are set in early fall, so we have those beautiful sort of wispy weeds that the early fall brings, but they didn't grow in 100%. So fingers crossed that they do eventually, because I think that those are just so pretty and I love the way that they look. As we watch my past self figure out where I want to put flowers and this pathing situation, because believe me, that is the whole video. It's pathwork and flowers the whole time, which makes sense for a meadow build, I suppose. I figured now would be a great time to do a little bit of some life updates. This is my first video back in like a week and a half, I think. I know I sort of let you all know this before I left, but I did go on vacation with one of my best friends, and I had a wonderful, wonderful time. We went out to Cape Cod, which was so lovely. I have been like weirdly obsessed with the East Coast for a very long time, and I had never been out there, so it was super fun to go and see everything that I have just been like daydreaming about, I guess, for the past few years. I loved it. I ate so much seafood. It was so fun. Got really, really sunburned, but that's okay. I'm doing better now. And I know I didn't post anything for like a week and a half, so I'm sorry for the lack of videos there, but thank you for being so supportive. And when I said that I wasn't going to have anything while I was gone, you were all very nice and just said to enjoy my time. So appreciate appreciate you there. Thank you for being so understanding and wishing that I had a good time. I did, and I am so excited to be back. I missed you guys while I was gone. I missed like talking to you and seeing your comments pop up and talking to you in the Discord. I missed that, and so I'm happy to be back. There is life update number 1. Life update number 2 is sort of just like an ongoing saga, I guess. So I know recently I was very excited and I shared with you that I got a new PC and a new setup and I was going to start streaming soon. And I think this is just a saga that we're going to work on for a little bit. I ended up returning my PC and I ended up having to completely upgrade our Wi-Fi at home because neither of them were strong enough to handle streaming. And even the PC that I bought was just it wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. My headphones wouldn't connect to them, whether they were wired or Bluetooth. I was having a rough time with the one that I bought. And also, you know what, that's kind of my bad because I did purchase a PC that was cheaper than my elderly senior citizen MacBook. Maybe I should have went for something not as cheap, but I had never bought a PC before. I didn't really know what I was doing. This whole thing feels like such a foreign language when I am like researching computers and stuff like that. If you know what you're doing with computers and you know how to read all that, like kudos to you, because I was really, really struggling and I just had to cross my fingers and hope that the reviews that I was reading were correct. So I feel like I'm slowly learning and I'm understanding more and more the more that I research and look things up, but I feel like I'm learning a new language. I swear it is so confusing half the time. So again, if you know what you're doing and you can read all that with no problem, standing ovation for you, because I feel like I don't know how to read when I'm looking at that stuff online. So anyways, I returned my PC. I have a new one coming in actually on the day that you're seeing this. It should be coming in today. So that is super, super exciting. I did upgrade. Thankfully, when I started having all those problems with the PC that I bought, I was in the 2-week window to return it to Best Buy. So that worked out really, really well. So I have a new one coming in. It is not cheaper than my elderly MacBook that I've been doing everything on, although I am doing this video on this MacBook just because I had to return that other PC, and that's okay, honestly. I love her. She's like my comfort computer. We have been through so much together, and you know what? We've come this far on my channel with just using my MacBook, so it's okay to do it again. And I'm so excited to get my new PC. The only thing that kind of sucks about getting the new one is all of my Sims progress is gone. And not that I had a ton because I had just bought that PC, but I had built up like a whole small business, and I don't know, I was building my Sims family, like a little home, and I was just really proud of that, and now that'll be gone. So that's kind of frustrating. If there's a way that you know to like transfer your Sim saves from one computer to another, can you please let me know? Because that is something that I have never figured out how to do. I just kind of assumed because it was all under my same like EA account that it would just like be there when I loaded up on a new computer, and it wasn't. Fun fact, it wasn't. And maybe that's me being silly, but it's something that I did not know was a thing. And I feel like there has to be a way that you can do that. So please, if you are like really good with computers or just even better than me, that would be a wonderful thing to know how to do, just in case I need to do this all again. Okay, we took quite a detour there in the voiceover. I wasn't expecting to talk about my trouble with transferring saves on The Sims, but you know what? It is what it is. It's something that I'm struggling with, and I wanted to share that with you all. Anyways, back to what we were originally talking about. I have a new PC coming in. Yesterday, we upgraded our Wi-Fi, so that should be able to handle streaming better. So basically, I'm ready to stream now. Except not really, because I still have to figure it out. And it is actually a lot more of a process than I was expecting it to be. I kind of thought it was just going to be like press live stream. There would be like a little button and you pressed it and then it would be good to go. And there's just a few other things that you kind of have to make sure are put in place before that starts. But again, it's a process. I am learning, and that's all that I can really do right now. And I feel like that is pretty much all of the life updates that I have for you. I went on vacation, I bought a PC and then I returned it, and then I bought a new one, and I upgraded my Wi-Fi. So now you know that that's what you missed on Glee. You know what I mean? That's what's happening in my life. Back to the build for just like a hot second. You are still kind of seeing me figuring out where I want the pathway to go and what I want all the flowers to be. Thankfully, praise the Animal Crossing gods, because I ran out of white tulips and I really, really didn't want to go to a treasure island, but Leaf was here today and he had white tulips. Yes, thank you so much, Leaf, because that's exactly what I needed. So he came in super clutch. Thanks, Leaf. You might also be thinking, if you're not new here, well, I guess, okay, let's backtrack a little bit. If you are new here, I have a second island going on at the moment. Her name is Basil. She is a simple garden core, spring core island. And if you've watched the neighborhood build for that island, you may be thinking to yourself, Amira, I feel like I just watched you build a neighborhood like this with the 3 homes kind of staggered like that and a well in the middle. And to that I say, mind your own business. Okay, because I just really liked the way that build turned out on Basil. And so when I wanted to do a meadow neighborhood, I was like, this is perfect because I can do the well thing again just in the middle of the 3 homes. I think it looks so precious. And then with like the path winding around it and all the flowers, I think it looks so pretty. And if it's the same basic neighborhood thing that I did on Basil, then you hold your tongue, people. I don't want to hear it because it is so cute and I love it so much. And that's all we can really do in this life, is do things that make us happy. And Animal Crossing is one of those things. If you like to build the same 3 things over and over and over again, that is literally none of my business. And you should, because time is fleeting. That is my speech on doing things that make you happy. Happy core. So true. I got a comment on one of my videos a while ago saying that they're just going to start an island and just build things that make them happy. And she said she was going to call it her Happy Core Island. And I think about that often. I'm not going to lie to you because we should do more of that. Anyways, another little random detour that we went around. Something else that I feel like we as a community need to be discussing right now is the fact that it is halfway through July. Hello, where did my summer go? As a teacher, this is not the vibe. I am not doing well with the fact that it is already halfway through July. My husband and I have been like grocery shopping, obviously, because we need food. And Walmart and Target have had their like back to school sections like set up since like the end of June. And that makes me want to like go lay out in the middle of the road. Are you serious? No. It is still summer. We just had the 4th of July. It is still summer for like a month and a half. Hold your horses, please. You keep your back to school stuff to yourself. I don't want any part of that. This is my summer and I'm enjoying it and I want literally nothing to do with back to school talk. Oh my goodness gracious. Whenever I see that, I like enter fight or flight mode. Oh, it's crazy. Anyway, you are now seeing me build just like a little bit of terraforming. We don't do much with this terraforming. What I really wanted to do is just have an incline going down into the neighborhood because I love a moment where you're like walking down towards like the back of the island and things come into view that way. I always think that looks so nice. So the only thing I do here is I put in this incline. We don't decorate up there at all. I really just leave it at that. I don't know how big I'm gonna end up having that terraforming chunk be or what else I'm gonna put on there. Like I said, I'm very type B. I just go with the vibes. So that's all for that little terraforming chunk. Also, this part was like slightly annoying because this is the first like actual incline or bridge that I put in on this island. So there's obviously so much like dialogue that comes with that because this game really loves its dialogue. Holy guacamole, especially at the beginning of the game. Every time I restart, I forget how much dialogue they cram into this game, which I'm not technically complaining because I love all the characters and I love hearing them yap, but it is something that's kind of a jump scare every single time because they truly do love to yap. Anyway, you did just see me time travel so that we could put in the incline, which is great. I think it looks so lovely. And then I start messing with the pathway again because that's all I do these days. And I sort of turn it into this like multiple path, windy, almost like maze thing. I decided that I wanted options to kind of go, twisty turny in the meadow. Again, it's not as sprawling as I would like it to be just because I kind of condensed it to be these 3 homes, but I do feel like I would like the meadow to be like larger overall. And I wanted multiple different like skinny, windy pathways. So each home has a little skinny pathway that leads up to it. And then I sort of changed the main pathway to kind of accommodate all these little things like branching off of it. And it turns into this very like maze-like sort of thing. Also, so many times throughout this part of the build, I end up like accidentally going into the villagers' homes. It happens like 3 times. And then I feel bad because I don't say hi and then they look confused. But it happens a few times. We just saw Cherry and she's really sick. And no, I didn't bring her medicine because I'm in the middle of building up a meadow. And priorities, you know what I mean? So that's what I do here. Lots of just little different windy pathways. I fill in more spaces with flowers. I only use like a few items in this build. I use like a cardboard box and a pitcher. I use a wooden bucket, and then I use like a signpost, and that's about it because it's all flowers. I love a meadow build. I don't do them enough. They're so pretty. I love the flowers in this game. And if you know me and you've been watching me for a while, I love a moment on an island where I can frolic. I just want to frolic, okay? And so I'm providing that opportunity for myself here and now with this meadow neighborhood. And I love it so much. I will say it's not exactly like magical forest core very much. It's just like a meadow basically. So I'll have to find some ways to maybe bring in some more magical elements when we get closer to like finishing this island, because up until now I feel like everything has been like very sort of magic-y with like touches of whimsy with like the mush neighborhood and the entrance with like the ruined arch and stuff like that. And this is just flowers, but that's okay with me. I did consider putting in some of the mush lamps. I thought that would have been like a nice touch, but then I was like, no, this is the meadow neighborhood. You know what I could do? I could get some of the hyacinth lamps and sprinkle those here and there. I feel like that would be something that could be pretty and add a little bit of whimsy, make it a little bit whimsical. That's my whole goal with this island. Whimsical core. That is moss. I keep remembering things that I need to discuss with you all. Again, it's been like a week and a half, so I have like a running list of things in my head that we need to talk about because it's been a while. And this one is a pretty big one because at the time of recording this voiceover, I'm like 50 subscribers away from hitting 4,000, which is just so mind-blowing to me because we hit 3,000 like 3 weeks ago. So the fact that there have like another 1,000 of you have just appeared and like decided to subscribe, I don't think I have the words to like fully comprehend or express what I'm feeling. I am just so truly thankful that you're all here every day. I just think it's kind of crazy that I even do this in the first place, and so many of you have decided that you wanted to like join or like, I don't know, subscribe and hang out with me every week, like a couple days a week. I don't know. It's just crazy to me. I genuinely don't have the words. I am just in awe every single day, not only of just how this has grown over the last year, but also just how kind everybody is in this community. I know I say this in every single video, but if you're not a part of the Discord, I really, really, really recommend you do it. I did not get the whole like internet friend thing until I started this Discord server, and I met just the sweetest, most genuine, kind-hearted people that I think I've ever come across. And we've never even met, but like I recognize everybody's names, and like it truly feels like I just like have friends on the internet. And like I said, like I didn't understand that. I didn't get the concept of internet friends before, and now I do. And if you're not a part of the Discord server, there'll be a link in the description. You don't have to say anything if you don't want to. It's also a really great place just to keep updated with what I'm doing and like my video schedule, and if I'm going to miss an upload. I try to post it on YouTube as well, but the Discord is the first place that I go to update anything as far as my channel, or eventually when I start streaming, updates will be posted there. So even if you don't want to talk or post anything in the chat, it's just a great place to like keep updated. But also like I feel so lucky to like be a part of such a kind community, and it's just like such a wholesome place, and people share pictures of their families and their animals and their hobbies, and just I cannot speak highly of those people enough. So if you're looking for some internet friends or a place to connect with people who have similar interests, we have like a whole book sort of recommendation section. So we've been chatting about books. There's just I really, really love it over there. It is such a safe and welcoming space. And if you need something like that, or if you've been looking for something like that, I truly can't recommend the Discord enough. So like I said before, I'll have a link to that in the description. I would love to see you pop on over there and introduce yourself. Or again, if you just kind of lurk and read what other people are posting, that is absolutely okay too. I did that for years. I still do that on like Lil Simsy's Discord and Sparksby's Discord. Believe me, I'm a professional lurker on the people that I watch. So if you don't feel comfortable saying anything, you definitely don't have to. It's just there for you if you feel like you need a safe space on the internet. Okay, we are pretty much coming up on the very end of the speed build, so we are going to transition to real time now so that we can kind of do a whole walkthrough, finishing touches, final thoughts, all of that. Okay, and here we are doing a little real-time sort of walkthrough. I time traveled again so that we could be in a slightly less gloomier state. I think this turned out so sweet. I love all the little winding pathways. Like I said before, I love a sort of entrance into a build where you're walking down an incline towards the back of the island. I love the way things come into perspective. I just think it is so beautiful. I love this time of day. This is the time of day that I'll probably be setting this island in the dream address, the sort of golden hour time. I think it's just so magical and whimsical. I know I mentioned this toward the beginning of the build. I did plant a bunch of weeds. They just didn't grow into their full sort of height. So I think once they grow into be those sort of wispy weeds that autumn has, it's going to be so pretty. I love that look. I think it's just going to be, I don't know, you guys, I'm really, really, really happy with this. I am going to try to add some more touches of magic here and there. I think using hyacinth lamps would be a good way to do that. But also, I don't know, maybe meadows are just inherently whimsical. I think that's also a possibility. I'm so proud of myself for the way that I did this little skinny pathway thing. That is so out of the norm for me. Overall, I'm just really happy with the way that this turned out. And I hope that you are too. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing. It really would mean the world to me. I post new videos 3 times a week-ish. I build on this island moss, I build on my garden core island basil, and then I also do some island tours. I would also like to quickly thank all my members on this channel. I appreciate each and every single one of you so much. I don't have the words. Thank you for being here. I love you so much. Other than that, you guys, that is all I have for you today. I hope you are having the most wonderful day, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Goodbye.